quick stretching routine. You can use a rolled up towel for this or a half dome. I need a surface to put my hands on, could be a chair, could be a kitchen surface, and I'm going to use a corner of a wall, which could equally be a doorway. So, starting off, we're going to side bend. Take one foot behind the other, keep the standing leg straight, take the other arm up and over, take hold of the top arm, and reach. Take the hip out to the side. Feel more of a stretch to the side. Okay, we're going to do one more of those, this time taking your hips out behind you and reaching forward. So you're getting more of a stretch down the back. Okay, let's come up and do the other side. So other leg goes behind, arm up and over, reach hip out to the side. And then up, and then we're going to come forward, hips go back. Okay, and then we're going to stretch our calves. So we're going to use the rolled up towel or half dome. You put the ball of one foot up on the top of the roll or top of the half dome, step the other foot forward, bring your hips forward, look down, check you're in alignment, outside edges of your feet, parallel even if they're displaced, and your hips square to your stretching leg. Okay, while we're doing this, bring your chin to your chest and take your ear over to one shoulder and then the other. Head to centre. Let's stretch the other calf. So ball of the other foot on, step the other leg forward, it might even be back. You just need to make sure that you can keep your hips square to the front leg. So draw your hips as far forward as you can get them to go, heel pushing into the floor. Okay, and then let's take your chin right down onto your chest, stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth, take your chin up to the ceiling. Bring your head to centre, double calf stretch. So we're going to use the rolled up towel or half dome. Ball of both feet are going to go on the top of the towel. Take your hips back and your chest forward. Keep that neutral spine, so dip in your low back, ribs lifted. You can make this harder by having more towel, obviously, or make it easier by taking the towel away. So you're drawing your hips back so you hinge at the hip and you feel a stretch over the back of your legs. Don't let your knees cave in towards each other. You can walk the back of each knee back, make sure they're actually straight, and then stop and sway from hip to hip. So from foot to foot. So you're sliding your hips across a wall. And then stop in the centre. See if you can drop a little lower. Okay, and then we're going to come up and we're going to chest stretch. So we're going to find our corner of wall, put your elbow above the shoulder of your stretching arm, and then you're turning away. So you're just turning your chest away from that arm and then drop forward. So you feel the stretch in your pecs. Shoulder needs to drop down away from your ear here. Okay, let's do the other arm. So a doorway will work equally well. Turn away, drop forward, drawing your shoulder down. Okay, into all fours now for pelvic tilts. So, hands underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips, chin is just loose, head down to the floor, and we're tucking our tailbone and lifting. So, lengthening and shortening your lower back. Try and slide your hips forward and backwards, so just using your inner abdominals. And then we're going to take this into a cat stretch, so you tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin, lift your middle back, and then lengthen your shoulders down your back, your crown of your head away from your tailbone. And we'll do that one more time. So you tuck right under, tuck your chin, lift your middle back, and then lengthen your spine away. Okay, and then we're going to stretch through the front of the hip. So I'm going to put my knee up on my rolled up towel and step forward with the other foot. If you've got a mat for your knee, you might not need to feel like need something underneath it, but certainly on the hard floor you might. And you want to have your heels, knees lined up with your hip. And then we're going to pelvic tilt. So we're going to try and keep your pelvis in neutral. Hip bone in line with your pubic bone, and then slide forward, keeping that neutrality there. Your back leg, stretching hip, needs to feel like it's coming forward as well. Let's change leg. So that knee down, other leg takes a step forward, find that neutral pelvis, bring that back hip forward, and then see if you've got any slide. You might have none. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that knee down, put them hip width. Mine are on the towel still, but you could just have a padded floor or carpet. Your hips need to stay forward, your ribs down, and we're just going to float back, keeping your ribs connected to your pelvis, just to get a stretch there down the front of the quads. In the quads. Back we go. Squeezing your bottom to keep your hips leading. We're going to come up. I'm going to do that one more time. So go back, try not to make it a rib thrust. So going back, knees into the floor. Bottom squeeze to get your hips forward, and then lead from the hips to come up. We're going to sit with V feet now, so sitting on your rolled up towel if you like, legs out in a wide V, so as wide as you can. And I'm going to lean over each leg first, so turn towards it and fold forward. Keep the back of that knee down, over to the other side and lean forward. Chest down towards the thigh. And then we're going to go in between both legs, so reaching forward, hands on the floor, walk them forward, drop your chin down. Backs of your knees need to be down. Bonus is if you can open your feet out. And we're going to come up to stretch through the hips. We're going to bring your legs in next to each other. Step one leg over onto the outside of the other leg's knee. You're going to sit up tall, bringing your chest up to that thigh, and then turn, look over that shoulder. So to give you a view this side, you're pulling in and up, and this is the stretching hip here. You're turning and looking over the shoulder on the stretching hip side. So keep pulling that thigh over, that adds the stretch. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, so that's a quick once over. Feel free to make any of those stretches longer, especially the ones that you felt you were getting most out of.